The men's 100-meter final is going to be one of the most explosive races of the year on August 11th. Marcell Jacobs, the reigning back-to-back European champion and an Olympic gold medalist, is about to face three of Britain's fastest sprinters in one final on their own soil at the European Championships in Birmingham. Can he really beat all three of them at once? Here's why that question is so hard to answer. Back in June at the British Championships, on this same Birmingham track, Romell Glave ran 9.98 seconds. That's the first time in his career he broke 10 seconds legally, and he didn't just run fast, he beat the exact men he's about to face again. Louie Hinchliffe and Jeremiah Azu both crossed in 10.03, separated by thousandths of a second, taking third and fourth behind Glave. Three of Britain's fastest sprinters, all under 10.1 on the same track hosting this championship. That 9.98 from Glave didn't just win him a national title. It tied the fastest time in Europe this year, matching Germany's Owen Anza. Only three sprinters on the entire continent had broken 10 seconds at that point in the season. Glave was one of them. Glave arrives in Birmingham as a European bronze medalist already, having finished third behind Jacobs at the last European Championships in Rome. This time, he's not chasing bronze. He's chasing gold on the very same track where he beat this field in June. Azu brings a different kind of pressure. He's the reigning world indoor 60-meter champion, meaning he's already won a major title on the global stage this year. He's also the fastest Welsh sprinter in history to break 10 seconds legally. He's chasing the British record next, and he's not shy about saying it. Just over a week before Birmingham, he raced at the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow, so he's arriving with recent championship rounds already in his legs. Hinchliffe is the name people underestimate. He matched Azu's 10.03 in June, and he's shown all season he can hang with this level of competition. On his home track, with his home crowd, he's not just making up the numbers, he's a real threat to medal, so that's Britain's side. Three sprinters all under 10.1 this year, all racing on their own soil. And all three of them have already been through this exact pressure once, back in June, on this exact track. None of them will be shocked by the atmosphere. None of them will be stepping into the unknown. They've already raced each other here, in front of a crowd just like this one. And they know exactly what it takes to win that race. That kind of shared experience matters. When four sprinters walk out for a European final, the ones who've already handled that specific track, that specific noise, and that specific pressure usually have a real edge. Three of the four men in this field already have that experience. Only one doesn't. Now here's what Jacobs brings to the table. He ran a wind-assisted 9.67 in Eisenstadt this season. That run won't count as an official record because of the wind, but it shows his top-end speed is there. He's also dipped under 10 seconds twice this year in Diamond League races, once in Rome and once in Paris. Those are legal official times against elite international fields. Jacobs is not walking into Birmingham off a slow season. He's walking in fast, and Jacobs has won at this exact level before. He won the European title in Munich in 2022. He won it again in Rome in 2024. 2 titles back-to-back. If he wins a third straight title today, he joins only 2 other men in history to do that. Valerii Borzov and Linford Christie are the only sprinters who've ever won 3 European 100-meter titles in a row. That's the company Jacobs is chasing. He's also an Olympic champion, winning gold in Tokyo. Since then, he's dealt with injuries and coaching changes, and there were stretches where people doubted he'd return to that level. This season is his answer to those doubts. Jacobs skipped the indoor season entirely this year. That was a deliberate decision, built around one goal, arriving at Birmingham fully ready. While Azu was busy winning the world indoor title over the winter, Jacobs was training quietly, building toward this exact week. That kind of long-term planning tells you how seriously his team is treating this specific final. Here's why this particular final is different from anything Jacobs has faced before. In Munich and in Rome, he didn't face this much depth from one single country. This time, Britain has 3 men who've all broken 10 seconds this year, all lining up in the same final, all racing at home. That's rare. Usually a final has one clear favorite and a group chasing behind. This time, the gap between the favorite and the chasers is razor thin. There's a mental side to this too. Jacobs gets to run this race with a clear head. No hometown pressure, no crowd needing him to win. He can focus purely on his own lane and his own race. Every British sprinter in this field carries something extra, the weight of a home crowd that's been waiting for a British champion in this event for years. So how does the night actually unfold? The semi-final is scheduled for 8:32 in the evening, Birmingham time. That round cuts the field down. A slow reaction off the blocks or a rough transition at 50 meters can end a sprinter's night right there before the final even starts. All 4 men need clean, mistake-free rounds just to make it through. Then, at 9:47 in the evening, the final happens. Less than an hour and a half after the semi-final. That's the moment that decides the champion. One race, about 10 seconds of running. That's it. That short gap between semi-final and final matters more than fans usually realize. There's barely enough time to recover, hydrate, and reset mentally before stepping back onto the track. A hard semi-final can leave legs heavy for the final. That's part of why the semi-final at 8:32 isn't just a formality. Running an efficient, low-effort qualifying time there can be the difference between fresh legs and tired legs in the final that follows. Think about what that actually means. Months of training, an entire season of racing, all coming down to 10 seconds on a track in Birmingham. There's no second-half strategy in a 100-meter race. There's no comeback if you get out slow. You either explode off the blocks and hold your form to the line, or you don't. That's what makes this event so unforgiving and so exciting at the same time. So what should you actually watch for when the gun goes off? Watch the start first. Jacobs has had shaky starts in past races, and if any of the 3 British sprinters get a clean reaction, they can build a lead in the first 30 meters that's tough to close. Watch Azu in the middle of the race, because his indoor speed makes him dangerous at the halfway mark. And watch Glave, because he's the only man in this final who has already beaten this exact group on this exact track this year. This race carries something bigger than one medal. European sprinting has been looking for its next big storyline for years. If Jacobs wins, he becomes a 3-time champion who beat Britain's deepest sprint group on their own soil, a result that would be remembered for a long time. If a British sprinter wins, especially at a championship hosted in their own country, it becomes the start of a new era for British sprinting, with 3 young stars still improving. Either way, this final is set up to be one of the closest and most competitive races Europe has seen in this event in years.